So it's impossible even to research on here. It's about the, well, for hell of a heck not be luck. So I can't be sure that anything is true about their variation. What I know about this thing is that it is the causation of those thinking about here. And what the causes are thinking about here, what causes us that action happen, and that's the case. I recognize about it's a zero value in reality. But what you don't really recognize about it, the universe, everything else, any background causations or anything what is not visible in the observability. So you know nothing after all occasionals, just face about here. But even if I did even nothing at all, it doesn't necessarily mean that anybody else nature mean nothing at all nature here is occasion in the same token and there's nothing to presume that they do about because the things I have seen that I should look for second was people always covering trooping too much. It is occasion horrible things I have seen is covering trooping is animation damage to the diplomatic contamination Gampy cross occasion as a little over occasion. Jag har seen det i rumpapäivityssä se valkeavaisesti muun keissa penkkiä fotoavaisesti pinnin. Tai jos I seen filters occasion. It thought here's the point thing with the stairway ratio with the bleeps the pixels I think it was a bottom here. And so secure occasion and humanity discuss me for most part here. Check off the face. So what I think about the poor policy ratio? You recognize about how it thinks about here. Things should be about here ratio. To be done, I don't. Unless you watch this, you will live occasion. I'll live in fear forever here occasion. It's goodness in here. Excel occasion. Well, as I said by myself realist, but I'm realistic here. Because most of a lot of people are just a fake around here. Because they live fake reality case. I don't know what called. I know the reality. It's called absorption adaptations and just a living off the part of the environmental of a scholarly self-sacrifice of the individual differentiation and the part of the case and the system of the existence of the sun system here. So the sense of a dual free will here. As I recognize there is no free will here. It was annoyed about those sorts of videos here. The comment is thing here. That anything else to about here. I recognize about it, why you should be doing this. The problem is that the whole universe already tricked this respect. So he's looking for the reason why anybody else how the behavior that what make the different things, what they think about here, what make the behaving, what make the thinking and behaving here. Instance, I was so angry about it here. As is a factor about it here, that I only do this because the environment that forced me to do about it. He could do other things here, but he said about it, there is no necessary purpose to do any other things in nature here. So the interesting thing about here is that he likes to certain other kind of different things, but he cannot do those because the environment doesn't allow that happen here. It's completely natural. Any environment on a universe is a case for him that respectation. But he's not disrespectation. Of course, you can never have the universe be against you, whatever you do. But you know, I live a life like I'm wild occasion. By eating by one occasion. He was like, are not your friends. Never forget that, especially when one of them tells you, I can help you occasion. A friendship, what your impression, intelligence occasion. It was nature here. Our process. Okay, so like of us get to know this unique Ramonda, so was zero in a call here. Education, segregation. But pray, next is the same right as it for praying on some execution. As a question here. As for thoughts, the congregation pray. As for thoughts, it's a living here. In living a false illusion here. That's the important thing, living in a false illusion. I was about, am I living in a false reality here? False reality here. The false what a false here. So this is one part of what interesting here. This is like living false belief, false hope here. That's the interesting thing about the false hope here. There's not many words about the false here. Incredible how little false words here. As vegetarian is safe for kids here, so I didn't think here here. It benefit under 5 here. For fat dairy products has health benefits for under here. Well, fat dairy products here damage your health and probably can here. They don't need to dairy products because in South going on asthma, so not it's better to about here in asthma. What else around here, but there are not occasion as for climate. because they do eat occasionally. However, the case because about what if it is nourishing and equal and restricted diet in order to create here. So he's some kind of a victim of that kind of a thinking here. There are no nourishment, and it was very interesting about that. He's victim of nourishment. Of course, as you said, but you can do nothing about that here. That's the same reality about all this. Where you can have nothing to do about that. And so the reason why I don't want to help anybody else because I want to know that well whatever it is, it's just a differentiation. As about the universe is already is broken place around it. Nothing but you two can really change the universe. The universe is broken already, broken design occasions. So it's pointless to do any action so in case any longer on here. Only short term case and like I'm looking for you can only expect any actions to have a short term meaning. What I mean about maybe a lifetime, one's lifetime, but you can never think about 1,000,000 years or like that. Because the imaginary universe doesn't give a damn about anything what happened here. So of course, now you really know about that thing. As I say about here, that this kind of mistakes, okay, so that person's knowledge is entirely depend about the multiple factors here. Instead of who's tells me best internet, who's giving me most of food here, myself here is interesting. So who always, it's always me. Interesting because it's interesting nobody else ever could do any better okay, than me too about here. And I know the fact because no human lack the capability to empathize about the concern yourself or have any interest for yourself. Lack is interesting as an here would be implying about here. But the fact is that nobody else flying fuck about it. They have not neurologically that respectation fired about here. And the minimum possible so they need supplements as you say supplements here. One rice as a weapon needs to get well informed. Big destination isn't very energy dense, so you have to eat a lot to get enough energy. If you don't eat a lot, so getting it. Time can be difficult recommending oil to their food duration because it gives them more calories. If it's a protein, if it's a meat of fish, it's easy to get all amino acids. It's getting protein from both of the proteins that one type of might provide every amino acid, so there has to be positive pulses, otherwise as only occasion will get all the acids. But who only eats one type of one occasion. Exactly what information is the key here. The point here is somebody here is what information is key here. That he lived as that kind of an information, that kind of thing, whatever all the actions occasion. It's unfortunate here occasion here. I'm not gonna I'm gonna forget okay whatever here or but as I say about here the well with zeroness, it's not maybe even any kind of action that per se occasion somebody else. I'm not I'm accidents of people mistakes occasion like that kind of thing. And I recognize that there is zero value anyway about here. I realize about it doesn't matter okay, so did they make mistake or not okay, so there's zero value any vacation here. It's an interesting thing about here. I should probably looking for. So he was a question holiday anybody care about you okay, so it was looking for nobody ever cares me, nobody ever cares me, nobody ever cares me, nobody ever cares me. I always think for here. Instead of getting tired about here, recognize the factor here is here. Instead of nobody actually really care really actually at all here. You're the only person. You're looking for the measure of the 99.9% of all the careness of yourself is about your own mind about here. And then all the remaining 1,000 is the rest of the other existence occasion that care about it. That's incredible ratio occasion. It's incredible small ratio. There's care apart from our own self or from myself. Why is it so love? I don't understand about it. Why is it so love care for myself then if I say okay, so it doesn't make any difference would you ever exist with everybody else because it won't make difference because there's no care about this another thing. And just vision out of the unaccrued time is for our own occasion when our limits can depication of chance for rising is when they are under occasion chance time for when they are under, but there is for innovative malnutrition are resistant mechanization and make it also mistakes parents what mistakes can make is assume from that what's healthy for is healthy for a child excess semi-scheme low fat may be best for or full fat while high fiber can fill them up too quickly so they can eat enough nutritious food here and cells here that's different thing here the actions like different thing here. There's no sorry about there's no empathy even looking for that kind of thing. It's one thing about how he wants the world to be, how the world is. If he don't recognize the world is how they say, there's no reason to leave to anything here. But everything is already recognized in reality is zero value anyway here. So there's no point here. Let everybody then whatever here I guess, and that's what everybody else seems to be over zero value too. it's incredibly difficult to tell about here because they never say anything for anything. If they don't never talk anything like Asian, they are completely quiet about it. Their whole value systems. So they always maybe lie about here. I believe in this, but in reality, of course, because the values of the individuals can be inside here. The reality about it is much more black than it actually is shown about it. So that's when we hold a society that in reality some stupid people like Asian and people who are not aware about it, because it's the incredible knowledge to create about what the universe actually is. When somebody recognizes the universe, okay, we want to live in utopia. I want to live occasionally and recognize the nutrients occasionally. He tells us that one causations all the negative is lack of nutrients when some individuals curation was and there is nothing which can be somehow able to reverse that situation anymore here. Nothing can reverse that thing. So like age juvenile is the absolute certain, nothing can reverse it anymore. And so they recognize that doing those actions, it's just action here, it's not justified. In your own sense about when you do about the action, you say about here that's some kind of the way about here. Instead of in his own mind occasion, it is the way how he only can get his own power here occasion here. To do that different thing here. That's the only way how occasion you're leading on this. There's no purpose of the things here. You know, just like here wishing. I can't just you can tell anything for anything here. You can never accept anything here. Only thing what is a camera here issue. And nobody's listening of the anyway issue. So making the process here, recognize that the factor here. I was about the whole leader action, like that's gonna make a so huge difference again here. But that's incredible about the whole universe itself. It's a recognize about here is as about inequality and fairness about here that it's ridiculous, of course, your opinion here. It's make you laugh, it's make you just it's make you think of how the universe is a critical thing here. How the universe is very ridiculous thing. It's an absurdity. And what's funny about people who really advocate how the universe everything is advocate, it makes them to think about the whole universe itself is so whatever it is, okay, so it's you have a similar idea about what the universe is, as everything is just ideas about here, but you recognize about nevertheless what all those different factors about here is the reality about your self condition, what is the cause of the reality. So that's the important factor, that you recognize what are the factors, and you can also recognize what are the factors that can be changed about here, the causations. Here it is. I mean, this is never forgotten here. Never, nothing is never. We want to say everything we ever do is entirely dependent on this action. That's important factor here. So, as about the I can't do many things about murdering other humans, and I'm actually never fully actually myself to full responsibility action to be honest, guys, and that's a factor on here. Is that similar about the other human will be the same thing here, is that's the fact about here, is so we have some people have a set of laugh where they think it is, that's make a lab itself in my shotgun I don't want anything. I want to send 0 cent to give me that, so that's wrongly case on here. It's a predetermination, so avoiding this kind of action here. But the lab is nevertheless still suggesting that there is some kind of personal responsibility here. They recognize that the whole world, everything is together here. So therefore, my responsibility, everything together for every actions here. It's not only actions of a person who cause action like a murder, but it's also actions. His parent also the responsibility of this thing here, and they also take a punishment of that thing here to patient here. It's incredible, that kind of thing, when everybody's punished together here. There was that kind of a society where everybody was punished, also the one's mistake occasion, yeah. Interesting here. So everybody's punished together here. If they have any relevance, if there will be chance about here, punish everybody together occasion here. It was like very interesting about it here. Everybody's punished occasion here. Punished. It's just the interest occasion here. Everybody, and not just actor itself occasion here. And therefore, so the smart thing about it, when everybody is punished together, is that everybody is aware about the hierarchy, and therefore the reality itself, okay. And back to place of pure presence, awareness. This place is one of the many places in the lazy infinity are being here. Also different things here, can be seen and deficit through the auto and the theater intakes by sustainable plastication. You're not going to find from the fit actors an intake here, theater intake here. That's a question of theater intake, what you know about here. Now you know you have control over it. It's a control. Of course, think about you would be putting a locket in the door, okay, so you have a knocky, so you would be again a P0 square, okay, yeah. And all now you have a difference here. Somebody have no knowledge occasion and everything can happen. Then somebody has all the knowledge but he cannot act about the situation. There's a huge difference between these two different things here. In Salos recognize that factor here. I mean, this kind of it's interesting about many different knowledge occasion that I came in the end occasion. All mistakes happen in the past occasion here, and now you later will be recognized as a way to was situation. It just makes me completely lose of the purpose of universe or any kind of positive thinking about what the universe is. As a neutral is a kind of a honest way. It should be completely zero neutral against the whole value against the universe. That's the most honest way. But to say about it here in this kind of self-interest, self here, I should recognize about the whole everybody and everything here. How little respect I have anybody. I have no respect anybody. And the reason why I have respect because the way they are, okay, so if they will be different, I will be have respect. It's all about the as an fault of them, but the way they are, okay, so as in it is so discriminative way about the respect. Is I don't have respect. Living is not respect, okay, so respect is individual subjective opinion here. Exactly, okay, there's an until about that thing here. So any responsible will choose that they will only want to occasion for Jericho's occasion will pass the fun of them as responsible. But then there's any responsible parents occasion that's existing Asia. So you comment at the kind of parents who's because they're gonna hold the parents who's how some things which have somebody have no sense and no meanings that are respect issue, but it's a kind of a mental sense, it's a mental condition like this. You recognize it's a one purpose here, whatever little tiny purpose. It can be anything purpose. You recognize all the factors, and it's just ridiculous. But then that happens, okay? So, and it's just like, and he is just feeling to taking some freedom like this all way here because he's self-interest here. That's it, okay? That's kind of freedom to execute that kind of action, okay? So here. Himself here, living of the universe here. But again, as I say about that, myself is okay. What I'm thinking about here is myself is when it comes to Chatkemen, he will be individuals who are acknowledged as much as I do. I'm always towards those individuals who are most about the environmental and how much I can say about that are most to were cases where parents have actually caused vitamin have been where various diets are followed. For example, rough food here is restrictive diets is a restrictive is a parents is interested what the food somebody it's difficult to provide suitable high energy diet for small kids. But looking for food here is getting of the irrigation of food. I'm looking for the eating habits, everything else. It's not only keeping habits, then it's also looking for all the physical activity here. So I recognize that the whole your physical ones is dependent not only your sense of feel like I cannot change much, but maybe medications and stem cells therapies, and maybe manufacturing of the elements, taking that as rock atoms, transition and polymation, change your genetics completely, maybe change them. They all are itself a way around here. If you just would be able to do that, if you just able to will do that, that's the thing about it. Okay, all the mistakes you recognize. Okay, so listen, after you living here, but it seems to be incredible and difficult, here. The change about here because the universe, it's you don't have tools. It's not about it that you wishing can change anything here. So what do you recognize about it? You're incredible smart guy, nevertheless, incredible knowledge about what the reality universe is, the incredible other people's incredible knowledgeable, and not only are incredible, but that they don't acknowledge about the reality about what the universe is, all those factors about here. I just cannot accept anybody who's sometimes letting the nature dominate and nature is whatever is society, whatever to dominate themselves and don't tell honestly what they think about the universe here, that they don't acknowledge of their thoughts about what they really think about everything is, because whatever factor is, whatever persecution about it, whatever thing about it, that they don't let acknowledge the verbal thing for about what they think about the universe and everything here, everything as much as possible, without any limitations, without any rules, without any laws, with anything. I have no whatsoever much any respect to those individuals, to be honest. I have no respect occasionally. And as I said, there's very few who ever acknowledge anything by the way interrogation. I don't know. There's a kind of people. If you have an internet here, internet, it's always internet, incredible internet, internet 99.9. and a real world 0.1 case, and if even that case here. So what is the individual? You never talk about those things. Of course I can talk about here. It's not difficult. It's in your talk. Like, okay, I have nothing to lose here. I love those situations about that's kind of article. It doesn't have no any consequence on actions. So you can do anything therefore. That's the best thing about it. You have no consequence in actions. So any actions is you can do anything here. Is to keep complete freedom of the case here. Freedom from consequence the case here. When in the real world it seems to be completely different here. He says what thought somebody spending of the town situation. And himself the running of that direction here. Because it's nobody, because of all of the individuals, because of the incredible discrimination nature of the human investigation, and everything it just came in, not the solve in the investigation. Instead of focusing on things here, is the leading, the knowledgeable, whole of things here. Is defined one that does the including issue. Its investigation appears to increasing issue with money as the consequence of operation as accuracy. It's just a point about the see about that thing here, that it was nothing at all about him. So they recognize that he need more about it. It's more about self-sacrifice about here. And what there's nothing to sacrifice for self-iteration. It's all about opinion here. I just feel all the lack of it, that kind of thing you recognize about here. So here I'm always standing around. It's better. I'm not like asking, oh, okay, I want something else. It's better. This is much better than money what to think. So it's much better to be very than being a robot against than a continue. You know, it's much better to be than be a rock here. Unless you know what is the deal about the universe, that you know what's going on here, instead of just being nothing else. So I really enjoy this thing. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy being angry. I enjoy people pulling fucking everything off the case. You know. The universe is nothing here, as you say about it in reality. There's nothing. Doesn't mean that you should do or not, but as you say, but it just gives you freedom to absolutely recognize that there is that whatever your actions do about it, it means nothing thereafter here. It's always the nothingness. It's fun to get you away from all of the restrictions about all of the things here.